All right, so welcome to our presentation today on accessing community college workforce resources. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. My name is Shelby Wood, and I work for the City of Westminster in the Department of Economic Development. My job is to manage our small business resource programs here at the city, including developing and coordinating training opportunities like this one. We do want this to be interactive, so for those of us who are joining us today, if you have questions as we go through, feel free to check in with us, use the chat, and I'm going to see if I can turn off the mic function, or so either raise your hand, however you want to engage with us. We would love to hear your questions. And I did want to note that our presenters today do also have their information provided on the last slide of the PowerPoint, so that way if you do want to connect with them after the webinar, they have made themselves available for you to do so. And when we do conclude today, a copy of the recording and this presentation will be uploaded to our training library on our Westminster economicdevelopment.org website for reference. The purpose of our webinar today is to learn more about how community colleges can support our business community. Joining us from Front Range Community College is Claudia Ossola, and she is the Director of Corporate Solutions, and Matthew Sweeney, who is here with Red Rocks Community College, and he is the Dean of Workforce Services. Thank you both so much for your time today, and now I'm going to turn it over to you.
Great, thanks so much, Shelby. We're excited for this presentation here to talk to the business community of Westminster, share a little bit more about the resources available from the community college perspective. So we're going to give you a high-level overview to start, and then we're going to break into what each of our institutions can provide to support you in the business community as well. So let's go ahead and on to the next slide. So just to give you a start of what resources are available at the community colleges in your local neighborhood here and how they might be able to support you in your business. One of the key and primary opportunities that we have to support your business is around recruitment. So as you know, we have a lot of training. We have a lot of students in training that at the end of training or along the way in training are looking to get connected to companies just like yours. So we have career services departments at each of our institutions whose sole responsibility is to prepare students to enter the workforce. And oftentimes this means preparing their resume, helping them job search, and then connecting them directly to companies. So each of the career services departments can operate a little bit different under that mission, but they usually have a platform here and at Front Range. It is called Handshake, where you can post your jobs to get access to students at our institutions. In addition, we offer career fairs and job fairs, some oftentimes specific to a pathway. So if you are a company that is working in a specific industry and have an appeal to some of our pathway programs, for example, construction technology, then oftentimes we'll organize job fairs around that pathway so students enrolled in those programs can get exposed to careers in that industry. Additionally, we have work-based learning opportunities. We define work-based learning as the opportunity to learn either about work, through work, or at work. So that can mean anything from guest speaking in some of our classrooms to job shadowing opportunities, internships, and apprenticeships. And Claudia will speak a little bit more about apprenticeship opportunities later in the presentation. But there is funding available through the community college system and some other resources that can help you get an apprentice on board or off the ground at your company. Additionally, each of our programs have, especially in the career and tech ed space, have advisory boards. So if you are in a specific industry where you are looking for new talent, or there's a lot of change occurring in your industry and you're seeing talent gaps, you have the opportunity to participate in our advisory boards that help inform the curriculum, the way it's delivered and designed, updated. So those are usually biannual. So you have 2 opportunities throughout the year to participate on these boards to provide feedback to our programs to make sure that we're training in the most up-to-date curricula so that when students graduate and go to work at your company, that they have all of the skills that they need to hit the ground running. Another resource provided to you is specifically through workforce services departments or workforce and corporate training departments at our institutions. We can provide training and support to your incumbent workers, sometimes either broadly to multiple companies through a continuing education route or through direct customization by being able to work with you in a corporate training capacity to design something specific to your needs and deliver that training. And we have some grants and incentive dollars that can help offset the cost of that training for you. We'll speak to that in the next slide and then the following slide there too about some of those resources that are available for you. And then finally, in a leadership development lens, many of the workforce services programs can provide training to support the leadership capacity at your organizations and companies to help move talent from entry level or intermediate level positions into supervisory and management level positions. We can go to the next slide there.
All right, and I can pick up a little bit on some of the resources, including the Skill Advance program. That's an economic incentive program through the State Office of Community College System Office and the State Office of Economic Development and International Trade. It's a joint program to incentivize companies to provide training, specifically highly customized training in a variety of areas to their employees. The program can cover training in areas like leadership development that Matt just referenced, continuous improvement, Lean Six Sigma, and that whole kind of body of knowledge, project management, customized safety training, workplace languages, and trying to think of what I might have left off, but basically a broad range of topics are eligible for funding through the grant program. So a number of companies have used this program over the years to really leverage their in-house resources to provide that training. So it is a state-funded program. It is a reimbursement program, as it says, to reskill and upskill employees. There are kind of two separate sub funds underneath that. One is called Colorado First. That is focusing on training for people in expanded positions that are newly created positions within your workforce. And then existing industry is a different fund that is covers training for basically all employees who've been with you for a period of time. So the good news is that that third bullet says that it covers 60% of the cost of training and there's a 40% employer match. The good news is the grant can technically provide up to 100% of coverage of the direct costs of training. So the instruction, the development, the customization, the materials, the assessment, and then the employer match on occasion can be completely covered by employee wages during the training time as an in-kind. So again, just to be clear, that 40% is an in-kind match requirement for employers. So it really is a great resource to many of the employers in the region. As that last bullet says, it really supports non-mandated training to increase competitiveness, and really one of the few trainings that are not eligible at this time anyway are things like OSHA certification requirements, anything that they consider a necessary cost of doing business. Those things may not be eligible, but as we mentioned, a lot of the earlier categories, as long as the training is customized, are eligible for up to full coverage. We can advance to the next slide. All right, so just a quick overview of Front Range Community College services. The bullets are really help you understand, well, what is this aspect of the community college and why is the community college involved in this? And as you may be aware, community colleges have a unique mission to serve the business community and the local workforce community. And so the Workforce Solutions programs really do what that first bullet says, extend the college reach directly into the community to support workers and businesses in being competitive, in maintaining a competitive edge so that they can be eligible for promotions or be competitive for job bids and those kinds of opportunities. So it's a lifeline to really keep the colleges very connected. It's a dynamic lifeline to keep them very connected to the changing business environment, the skills needed, which as we all know are rapidly changing in today's environment, impacted by technology. It also helps accelerate the response to those workforce needs. So a number of us who are out there talking with companies every day, we're building the programs around their needs. We're making sure that we're responsive in a way that we're anticipating not only the immediate needs, but what's coming up. And because things change so quickly and get automated quickly, it helps us to understand what things are evolving and what skills are going away or being automated such that a worker may no longer be needed to do that particular thing. And that helps us be very responsive in our programming. It does, that direct connection to industry does seed new programming and development ideas. Matt and I and a number of our colleagues at other colleges are consistently out in the community, meeting with business leaders, attending associations for the different industries, and that's where we get regular updated information on kind of the up and coming trends in industry. And again, that helps inform the programming that we do. So I think this is one of the most valuable parts of a community college is that holistic response capability, which basically means we understand that there's a broad need that starts right up front about getting the information out to different audiences in the community about job opportunities. So that's where we're involved with messaging to K through 12, starting early in that process about helping industries get the word out about job opportunities. And then also helping them to recruit through the colleges, have access to the community college students through, as Matt mentioned, sometimes coming in and presenting about job opportunities directly in classrooms, participating on advisory boards, and taking advantage of the college services in terms of small business centers, in terms of training, direct training, customized training, and the number of programs that are on site. So it really, I would say we really are kind of linking arms as partners with your employers in terms of the goal of recruiting the right people, upskilling them quickly so that they're very capable on the job, and then looking for ways to really focus on retention, providing value for employer retention over time, and providing additional opportunities. And then it really is an ongoing partnership with the business community and the colleges. We're incentivized to keep very active in the community, keep very active in terms of the conversations around the changing workforce environment so that when we provide services, we're doing it hand in hand with the businesses. We know that the skills and the training that we're providing through the credit programs and the non-credit programs are relevant today and are going to get them to where they're trying to be, to win business and win promotion opportunities and be well placed for what the future holds. So it's a very unique role that the community colleges play to really serve, again, serve that local community for now and in the future. Next slide. So just a quick overview of the Workforce Solutions is a division at Front Range Community College that encompasses these areas. Apprenticeships are, you may have heard a lot more talk about this recently. They're having a resurgence in the workplace across industry sectors. They're probably in some ways more responsive, more adapted to what is now a very different work environment than when they were originally conceived. But you can see there just a sampling of in the last fiscal year about how many employer partners, 34 employer partners, and the number of apprentices that were willing and able to take advantage of this very direct job specific training. Customized training is a big part of the services that we provide. You can see it's across multiple sectors, kind of primary employer sectors. You can see the number of companies just in the last year and trainees. That's a big part of the services that Front Range, Red Rocks, and a number of the colleges provide. There's also the non-credit professional development through our continuing ed divisions, OSHA safety training, a lot of supervisory and leadership development, advanced manufacturing, and industry certifications are just some of the things available through that. program. And then small business development centers are also a part of what we offer to help the startups and the ideas in concept, as well as some of the more established businesses, to really focus on customized training, providing mentors and industry experts to help them grow. Next slide. This is just a quick overview of the apprenticeship model. You can see there what the benefits are for each of the participants. The college can basically act as the sponsor, which does a lot of the work in terms of the paperwork, the compliance, the reporting, the setting up, the structure, so that the employers and the apprentices themselves can really reap the benefits without too much of the administrative end of it, in terms of taking advantage of the program, defining it well to make sure that it is very job specific, again, so that they get the full benefit. It really points to, as we've seen, the successful employers use this through by offering to their employees in a number of different areas of expertise, the benefit of attraction and retention of employees, as well as obviously keeping their workforce highly skilled through a very consistent approach to training and upskilling. So again, this is just to kind of give a snapshot of the benefits for each of the different groups. Next slide. And then Front Range also has a Center for Integrated Manufacturing. This was developed a number of years ago, directly in partnership with companies and industries, employers in the region. Through a very methodical process, we brought employers in to inform what were the immediate needs, what were the future needs that they saw. And we continue to use that same approach in terms of selecting the programs, identifying what kind of specialized equipment and training is needed. And that center is used for credit courses for students, also for non-credit courses, for industry people who need to come in and just upskill briefly in target areas. And then also it's used for customized training for employers to come in, and we provide very specific courses just for their employees, with a lot of hands-on time in the labs and on the equipment. You can see there the four credit courses that are currently offered as certificates and or degrees, with the automation engineering, electronic engineering, the machining program, and also our optics technology program. Again, all of which were really developed hand in hand with regional employers. Next slide.
Thank you, Claudia. I'll pick up from the Red Rocks perspective here. In addition to a lot of what Claudia has shared about what our departments do for workforce services and workforce solutions, while we are primarily externally facing and staying engaged with the community and with some of our business and industry partners, we also try to be very influential internally to the rest of the college. And one of the ways that we can approach doing that is by taking the information that we hear in our conversations with employers, industry, and business, and take it back into the institution to help us be a little bit more responsive to the changing needs of our region. So some of the programs that are listed on here are the credit-bearing programs that historically are very rigid. So when you think of community colleges, oftentimes you might think of a rigid model as far as responding to your needs. And what Claudia's program and what our program is able to do is take the assets that we have at our institutions, which are these labs like the Center for Integrated Manufacturing that Claudia just shared there, and be able to turn them around and repackage them in ways that better meet the need of you in the business community. So sometimes you might have additional constraints that include multiple shifts, or maybe not the ability to stretch your trainings over an extended period of time, like a 15-week semester, which we historically do. Our departments are able to kind of leverage those programs, those subject matter experts and faculty in those lab spaces to offer these sorts of trainings in a more modularized or customized format to better meet your need, just like Claudia had shared there. So one of the ways that we are able to also extend and try to bridge the rigidity of some of our programs with the need for agility to match changing regional needs is to look at some of the ways for which we take on new students, for which ways we enroll them, which ways we ask for them to pay tuition, and some of the barriers that are included in that can prohibit your ability as a business to take an employee that you want to get, training in, for example, QuickBooks, but the process to enroll in the college oftentimes is too cumbersome or doesn't meet your need. And so the employer choice program is something that we're working on launching this fall, which creates a more streamlined path into registering your employees to existing college courses. So instead of going through the traditional application process of gathering transcripts, proving college readiness, signing up for financial aid, and many of the resources that do come with that, it's an alternative path to getting employees enrolled in specific courses that might be relevant to what the job that they are working in is, or that might help you become more competitive in your space. So that's a program that we're launching this fall, and happy to share a little bit more about it for those that are interested. Aside from that, almost every community college is working on apprenticeship programs that Claudia had articulated there. The value, not only for you as a business, is to take on new talent and to train them up in the skills, the procedures, the philosophy that is unique to your business. But it also allows transitioning adults to still find a way to work and build their knowledge while supporting all of the basic needs that they have living in the Metro Denver area or throughout these metropolitan areas across Colorado. So specifically at Red Rocks, we focus on cybersecurity and early childhood education apprenticeship programs. This allows us to really focus on developing some expertise in that space and providing a service to regional employers. Right now, our cybersecurity apprenticeship is tied into Northrop Grumman, but there are other placement sites that are available on that cybersecurity apprenticeship program. And then finally, we are co-located on the same plot of land here with Warren Technical High School. And one of the benefits of that relationship is that some of the programs that are unique to Warren Tech are now available to adults as well. So some of our manufacturing programs, like our machining program, is located at Warren Tech, and the high school students that are going through that program can also take that course alongside adults. So adults that are transitioning into machining can co-enroll in that course and also get degrees through that unique partnership as well. So let's go ahead into the next slide. Now I'll speak specifically to what we do in our workforce services space. Here at Red Rocks Community College, we have the brand of Rocky Mountain Education Center, which provides our continuing ed and corporate training options for the business community. So we were started in 1992 as the first OSHA authorized training institute. We are no longer an OSHA authorized training institute as of May of last year, but still provide some basic OSHA courses and occupational safety around the topics that are listed up there. We do those on-site and off-site. So on-site is here at our location in Lakewood, or off-site at the business location. We also have some environmental programs around stormwater management and gray water certifications. And in addition to that, we have a pretty large prison education program, and that allows us to go inside of the multiple facilities across the state of Colorado, provide occupationally focused training to help reduce recidivism and give skills and knowledge inside the prison system, so when they get released, they become more prepared for work. Digital literacy and adult education programs are also things that we provide inside those facilities and to the broader community as well. That includes language learning like ESL. So if you have English language learners, there's programming at almost every college for English language learners as well. And then just like Claudia mentioned on there, these industry certifications and orienting around some of the skills associated with industry certifications are one of the things that we do well in these workforce programs at colleges. We orient around an industry-based certification and help prepare customized trainings to either prepare for that certification or to test prep for it. We'll go ahead and go to the next slide there. Great. Well, I'll kick it back to you, Shelby, here.
All right. Man, I knew you guys offered a lot of services, and even though we met ahead of time, I'm blown away at the amount of programs, business support services that our community colleges provide. It's incredible, everything that you guys are balancing and doing. So thank you for all of the work that you are doing for our community. I know that we have somebody just hop back on. Sorry, you're catching us here at the tail end. But for our couple attendees, if you guys have any questions that you wanted to reach out to our panel, I don't know if I can turn your mics on. So if you guys maybe just want to use the chat if you have anything, that way we can also kind of track it. The contact information for both Claudia and, oh my gosh, I have your name on there incorrectly. We will get that updated. And Matt, their information is up here on the screen. Again, they have made themselves available to connect with you at any point. Questions, comments, concerns. If you think of something after the webinar, they are always available to connect with you and see how they can help support your business. And I'm not seeing anything come over in the chat. I'm going to hope that you guys have been so incredibly thorough and helpful, that you have answered everybody's questions and people are leaving here full of knowledge and fulfilled. So I think at this point, we are going to go ahead and conclude our webinar today. This copy of the PowerPoint, a copy of the recording will be posted to the training library up on the Westminster economicdevelopment.org website. I will also drop that in the chat so that way you can reference it later and you can have a copy of this PowerPoint for reference as well. Thank you for joining us if you are here with us live, and a huge thank you to our presenters and our community college partners for your time, your expertise, again, and everything that you do. And a thank you to anybody who is watching this recording at a later time. We appreciate you being here with us. Everybody have a great rest of your day.